Precast is not like standard construction. Every project is different, different geometry, different quantities, different specifications, and at the same time, you need to run it like a factory. Optimize lines, repeatable processes, tight schedules. You are also managing two worlds in parallel: internal production and external subcontractors for the inserts, these kind of things at the same time. And you are delivering elements just in time to the site. That means one delay anywhere in the chain causes problems on site immediately. Now look at the numbers on the right. 16 to 30 people involved in a single project on average for a precast company. A 10-day planning horizon, also 5 fixed steps that every project must go through. And you are running multiple projects at the same time. This is a serious coordination challenge. So competitiveness in this sector depends on one thing: keeping all those moving parts in synchronization, and that is exactly what this system is designed to do. So Lego Precast BIM is not just a drawing tool. Many people see it as a CAD application, but and stop there. That is only a small part of what it does. It's actually the central engine that drives everything else. Here is what happens when a project comes in. Lego Precast takes client data and project specifications. Then it automatically generates everything the company needs: executive drawings, PDF for the production floor, IFC and DWG for CNC machines, assembly drawings, bills of materials in Excel, Word specification documents, which are named automatically without manual work, and also ERP codes for P2000, again, all automatic, no retyping of the quantities, names, etc. All of these flows to the 3 places at the same time. Google Drive gets a clean, structured archive. P2000 gets all the project and supplier data, and the management system gets deadlines, scheduling, and dashboard data. One input and everything goes where it needs to go automatically. That is the foundation of the system. So let me walk you through the workflow step by step. Phase 1 goes from the first offer and all the way to the final executive drawings. Surely it starts with the offer, and the commercial office builds a 3D model of the building in Lego Precast. From that model, the system generates a cost estimate, a bill of quantities, and the client offer. Everything is connected to the model from the day one. When the order comes in, purchasing phase takes over. The project is entered into P2000, and variants and revisions are all tracked, and the BIM connection is live. So any change in the model automatically updates the ERP and the documentation as well. Then the technical office develops the full architectural design in 3D. It positions all the precast elements and extracts dimensions and productions list automatically. After that comes structural calculation, load analysis, seismic calculation, FEM interface. The structural report is generated automatically, no copy pasting into Word. And finally, the executive design phase, complete drawings with joints and connections, rebar bending schedules, full bill of materials exported to DWG and PDF. The key point here is this: nothing in phase 1 lives in isolation. Change one parameter in the model and the whole chain updates. That is what keeps the process fast and the errors out. So for now, I will be stopping here for a moment, and I will demonstrate you a video of a system which is created with Lego Precast, and I will show you some small documentations. Let me share my screen with the video. This is a small video that shows how the Lego Precast Revit BIM interface looks like and how it works in a simple way, let's say. Surely there is no limit in the program, but this is just a simple example of some buildings, how we create all of the access information as well, like this. So one of our advantage is the screen, the parameter input screen, as you can see on this in my presentation, is all created for customers. It's all customized, and there's no fixed parameter, there's no fixed value like this. We are designing all the images, all the parameters for our customers, let's say. Here we put some major information of the building to create a ready structural skeleton, let's say. And then we put down pipes inside the columns as well. For those outside of Italy, in Italy, down pipes are inside the columns in generally, let's say. So all the Revit models are synchronized with these parameters. We are connecting these parameter inputs with Revit, and you can have your 3D model, BIM model ready. This is just another example with some inclined beams, some openings, circular and rectangular openings, some doors, and also we have some openings in TT slabs as well. And we can see some of the plans and sections, elevations, which are created with the program automatically with the dimensions. So now we will see how the connections are working with our system. This is a option to create connections inside the Revit, but you can also create connections inside the Lego Precast using same parameter input menu with visually also. You are just basically typing your variables, and then boom, the system is creates automatically all the necessary things for you. So here, important things are the program does the verification of insert positions in accordance with the supplier specification. So we are handling also the documentation. If there's some reference documentation for this inserts or accessories, we are considering also these ones. We have also load capacity verification for the inserts. And lastly, subsequent clash detection analysis between inserts and reinforcement. This is another type of insert that connects two panels to one column. These most of the variables here are preset for the customer. When customer is using this insert for this connection for 90%, let's say, we are customizing customizing in that way. So they are giving less parameters as possible. So now the video will show the reinforcement part. As always, we have some menus to define some reinforcements, but beyond the menus, we have also some commands very helpful to manage all reinforcements in the program, in the system. So for a clash detection, this 3D visual of the column for the complex columns can be used by clients, by operators. Let's say anyone who wants to control the interference check, they can use it, or they can use some professional tools like Navisworks or this kind of tools as well. In the model also you can toggle the visibility of the reinforcements to see reinforced or not reinforced. Here you can see also where the inset go inside the column, inside the beam as well. This is an example of L-beam and also the panel. You can see nice details of the panels for lifting and anything else included in the panel. So these are some shop drawing, not shop drawings, but some reference drawings to use then later. For example, you can see the total height of columns, where the corbels are, the dimensions, levels, where the inserts are, where the sides of column are. You can use it also this one as well. These are some example shop drawings which are created automatically by the system. All the quantities, all the dimensions are automatic. These are some quantities in Excel format or PDF format or TXT format, whichever format is suitable for the client. We can supply any format. So when I say customization, I want to show you two documents of how we customize the things for our clients. For example, this is a customization of a double slope beam, which is a documentation. We document all the things, all the variables, etc. As you can see, we cover most of the cases in a family base for Revit, let's say. We cover all the parameters, all the things, and this is a really detailed work which we do for years, let's say. And also, for example, we have we have the same logic for the inserts. We are creating the parameter input menus, but with the parameter input menus, you are just typing the numbers, but in the background, the system takes all the variables into consideration. For example, this is an insert named Armatubo in Italy, which means reinforcement with tubes, which is a connection of column and foundation. This is all a parameterization of this insert, and the same logic has with the Revit also. We are synchronizing these two models with Lego, Precast, and Revit. So the client will have the model itself as ready with the quantities, with all the things included, let's say. This is a little bit of working logic. So let me move on with the presentation, please. As you can see, okay, we have already finished this page. Let us go to the next slide. This is the phase two. Phase two starts where the technical office. By the way, if you can have some questions, you can type in the chat, or you can interrupt me, or at the end we can discuss for your questions as well. So for now, I will be moving on. The phase two starts where the technical office finishes and all the data from Lego Precast flows automatically into P2000, which is ERP system, and production begins here. The first, production planning. The scheduler assigns elements to the molds, generates production labels, and builds the Gantt charts. All of imported directly from Lego Precast. No double entry, no manual transfer of the data, which is a really hard part for the Precast companies to enter all the data without errors, which is a really difficult thing. And then the production. Each pour is registered. Elements are tracked with barcodes. Material consumption is monitored against in the rebar schedules. And the progress is visible in the real time, not at the end of the day, not in a morning report, right now as it happens. When elements leave production, they go into storage. The system tracks which zone each piece is in. Inventory is automatic, element status is always up to date. The delivery is fully integrated with logistics as well. The system generates delivery notes, manages transports, and track shipments against the site schedule. And over all of this sits the cost and KPI, which is key performance indicator layer. Budget versus actual, KPI per project, KPI per mode, full statistics for full management. Technical office, production, warehouse, logistics, management, everyone works from the same data. Just one system, one view in real time. That's a real advantage. So before I show you the solution, I want to take a minute on what happens without a system like this. I think most of you will recognize at least some part of this. So first of all, obsolete documents on the shop floor. Someone prints a drawing on Monday, for example, but by Wednesday there's another version. But the Monday version is still on the wall next to the mold. The operators working in that one, nobody knows. Workers built the wrong detail, and the error shows up on site. Delays discovered the day before the delivery. The supplier calls you 24 hours before the scheduled date to say they cannot make it, for example. At that point, you are not managing a project anymore, you are managing a big crisis. So follow-up standby email and phone with no record. Who said, for example, who said what, when, and if someone leaves the company, the information goes with her, with him, for example. And underneath all of this, there is zero visibility. Nobody has a real-time picture of where every project actually stands. Not the planner, not management, not the site. Everyone is working with incomplete information. Now put that together, and 16 to 30 people, multiple projects in parallel, and internal and external cycles, just-in-time deliveries. That is the environment. And in that environment, incomplete information is a very expensive problem. So for us, the solution is an integrated management system. It connects Lego Precast BIM, P2000, and Google Drive into one platform. Lego Precast generates drawings automatically. P2000 holds all the project and supplier data. Google Drive is the document archive, and the management system ties everything together. It gives company three things: coordination, visibility, and control. In practice, it covers 5 areas, as I've said before: document distribution, deadlines, follow-ups, just-in-time supply, and the dashboard. So let me show you how each one works in the system, one by one. So the system is built around the 6 modules. They work together as one unit, but each one solves a specific problem, let's say. Module 1 is documents. Documents are always up to date. One version per file is all centralized permissions. The second one is deadlines. 5-6 steps per project, change one date, and then the system updates everything downstream automatically. The third module is follow-ups. It's semi-automatic. The system writes the message, a person reviews it, approves it, and sends it. You stay in control, but you do not start from a blank email every time, let's say. Module 4 is a just-in-time supply. Deliveries are synchronized with production. The system checks suppliers at 15, 7, and 2 days before the deadline to not have some delays. And the fifth one is progress. Unified monitoring of internal production and external subcontractors in one place. And the last and the sixth one is the dashboard, a personalized view for every role in the company updated in real time. So let me go deeper into the modules that make the biggest difference. The first module. This module solves probably the most common problem in the precast production. People working from the wrong version of a drawing. So here is how it works. Lego Precast generates every file with a structured automatic name, and nobody names it manually, so nobody gives wrong names. Each file has exactly one copy on Google Drive, not one not one per person, not one per department, just one. So when a revision comes in, the new version replaces the old one. The old one stays on Drive, but it's automatically marked with the suffix underline OBS, which means obsolete. It is still there if you need it, but everyone can see it. It is no longer the current version. It's with underline OBS. The permissions are managed centrally in P2000. The technical office can edit everything. For example, on the right side, we can see the permissions. We can change also these permissions if needed. The technical office can edit everything. Production can download PDFs and bills of materials. The warehouse can read material lists because they need only this one. External subcontractors can only see documents for their own order. And the site can read assembly drawings, for example. And the management part can read everything, but only reading, not modifying, say. And around 80 to 90% of these permissions are handled automatically. Very little manual administration, full control, let's say. Every project in the system follows the same 5 steps. Same order every time. Starts with BIM, contract, production, site, and assembly. Always the same. That fixed structure is what makes the cascade possible. What I mean by cascade? The planner changes one date, for example. Production is delayed. Let's say production is delayed by 3 days with this modification. The system calculates the impact on every step that follows. It shows a summary, which steps are affected and by how much, let's say. The planner confirms and the system updates all the dates at once. It also sends automatic notifications to everyone involved in that project. Just one action, a full chain updated and everyone informed. Sorry. Every date change is also logged permanently. All date, new date, the reason. You can define everything. So you always have a complete record of how a project evolved from the beginning to the end. One more important rule is only one person in the company is authorized to change dates. This prevents the situation where several people are making adjustments independently, and no one knows which version is real. The follow-up module works in the same spirit. When a deadline is approaching, for example, and a response is needed, the system drafts the message automatically. The responsible person reads it, edits the text if needed, approves it, and then sends it. It's not a robot sending email on your behalf, but it's a system that does writing, so you can focus on just the decision. So module 6 is the role-based dashboard. Just-in-time delivery means the material arrives exactly when production is ready to start. Not a week early, not a day late, let's say. Getting this right depends on knowing what your suppliers are doing before it's too late to act. So the system runs 3 checks on every delivery. The first one is 15 days before the deadline. So the questions are here. Is the production started? Are they at least 30% complete? The supplier can answer directly in the portal. The second one is 7 days before. Is the progress on track? The threshold is 70%. Again, the supplier can answer that from the portal. So 2 days before, the questions are, is the delivery confirmed or are they 90% or above? Because remain 2 days for the delivery, and this is also the same process. And here is the rule that makes the whole thing work, because we believe that silence equals risk. If a supplier doesn't respond within the expected time, the system automatically generates an alert for the planner. You do not have to go looking for problems. The system finds them for you, and early enough to do something about it when the problems are defined. So module 6 is concrete benefits. The dashboard is built on one simple idea. Every person sees only what they need. Not one screen for everyone, a different view for every role, updated in real time. The planner sees a Gantt chart for all active projects, for example, a traffic light concept for each one, green, yellow, or red, or gray for the waiting data, a view by department to check line load, a view by supplier to track reliability, and a list of today's critical issues highlighted at the top. That is the briefing without a single phone call, let's say. You do not have to call anyone. The system just reports all of them for you. The production team sees only their own tasks. The current version of every document they need, they can see, and a form to update their progresses. Nothing from other projects, nothing irrelevant, all systemized. And the external suppliers see only their active orders, their technical documents, and their follow-ups. Clean, simple, and all of them contained. The management part, okay. Okay. Management part sees only KPIs by project status. Delivery trend over 6 months, for example, to measure supplier reliability for the year, if the supplier is always late or they are just on time for the deliveries. It's like a strategic overview without the operational detail. And the traffic light logic is the same everywhere. Green means on track, yellow means at risk, red means it's late, and green means is waiting for the data. So in that system, everyone speaks the same language. So let me bring this back to what it means in practice. Zero obsolete documents means not because people are more careful, because the system makes it impossible to use wrong version. One file, one place, automatically flagged when it's no longer current. Also, the delays are caught in advance successfully, not the day before, 15, 70, and 2 days out, and a clear signal the moment a supplier stops responding. Every person sees exactly the information they need, as I've said, so nothing more. By this way, there's less noise, means faster decisions and fewer mistakes. Line load is always visible and comparable across all projects. Resource planning becomes a decision based on data and not institution, let's say. Management gets one dashboard every morning, no calls to production floor, no status email, no waiting. So they are having on the computer immediately. And over time, the system builds something you cannot build from spreadsheets and email threads, because they are all individual by time. If you cannot collect all of them, you cannot have a statistics data. You can make a statistics as well, for example. By that way, a real picture of supply reliability, reliability and delay patterns is visible. So that is the kind of data that changes how you negotiate and how you plan. So let me address something that comes up in every conversation. It means implementation. The system is designed to be incremental. You do not switch everything on at once. You do not disrupt production while you set it up. It all starts with configuration. As I've said before, we set up the BIM libraries, templates, and internal rules for your specific context, your molds, your inserts, your rebars, let's say conventions, your control thresholds, all of them. Then user and supplier data is imported from your existing ERP. You are not starting from zero. After that, we run a pilot project on a real project, not a test case, but a live project with real deadlines and real data. That is how we validate the automatic rules and make any adjustments before scaling up. Then the companies are going live, happens module by module, start with documents and deadlines, they are getting comfortable, and then they are adding just-in-time supply and the dashboard. Each module activates on top of what is already running. The risk at any point is contained. System grows with you. You don't have to be perfect from the day one. It grows day by day. So this is the last slide. So I want to close with something worth saying clearly. This comes up whenever a company thinks about building something like this internally. Lego Precast and P2000 have been improving every single day for years with 35 years of experience, let's say. Real feedbacks from real factories, real sites, real technical offices. What that produces after years of iteration is a level of automation and reliability that no new custom project can match in a short amount of time. The platform also gives you the benefit of a community, numbers of precast companies using the same tool. Their licenses fund continuous research and development. Every company brings real problems, and those problems become futures for everyone. That is one of the most important points. And you are not paying for the development, you are benefiting from the development that has already happened in the system. For example, if you want to create a system internally with an engineer, let's say, after that engineers leave the company, you have to close the system. You have to pass through the other system. So it's not feasible, and for the long term, for the companies, is a waste of time and money. That's it. So as I've said, the alternative is building internally or hiring a software engineer with no experience in precast, let's say. That means spending time and money to reaching a starting point that we are already well in past. And while you are building, your competitors who choose a major platform are already ahead of you. That is the case for this platform, and I think this is a really strong one. So I want to thank you for all of you, for your patience and participation, and I'm really happy to take any questions from your side. Thank you.
Thank you, Mutlu.
Any questions?
Mutlu.
Ciao Maurizio.
Ciao, volevo salutare tutti, mi scuso perché non parlo inglese, se glielo vuoi tradurre, e volevo ringraziare tutti i partecipanti che hanno aderito e vorrei porre la domanda in generale se queste tematiche che tu hai trattato sono tematiche vive in azienda, sono tematiche sentite, in cui il nostro sistema può portare un grosso beneficio o meno. Ecco, questa è la domanda che vorrei porre a tutti i partecipanti. Grazie.
So, Mr. Maurizio is the CEO of the CSG Engineering, wants to say hi for everyone participated for our meeting because he is not well in English. And he wants to highlight again that this system is created with the feedbacks and real-time problems by clients. So it's evolving day by day. We are evolving this system every day, let's say.
Quello che noi abbiamo così riscontrato viaggiando in diverse aziende, in tante aziende, è proprio la gestione dell'informazione e avere l'informazione corretta sempre al momento giusto, no? È una cosa che abbiamo raccolto molte volte dai nostri clienti, quindi l'intenzione di dare una risposta con questo sistema era proprio per colmare questa esigenza, questo bisogno. Quindi se senza nessun problema qualcuno liberamente si sente di intervenire, ben accetto.
So, as we talked before, having lots of customers from outside of Italy, around the world, we are collecting all the data from the customers. We are having new problems, new customizations, let's say. So, with the experience, we are implementing all of the information to our system. So, this is not just a single software, but is a collected information with years, let's say. If you want to know in detail, for sure we can you can contact us by email or phone call. We are open any kind of request by your side.
Molto, ci sono delle domande nel chat.
Adesso non lo vedo.
Hello, can you hear me?
Sei riuscito a guardare?
No, non lo vedo.
Al
Su
taglio
chat
inferiore a destra c'è un'icona di scelta.
è vuoto.
Non c'è niente da provare.
Non si vede niente.
Vedi solo tu? Non lo so.
Forse ci giro lì. Un attimo.
I think Mr. Barit have a question.
Hello, it was a very interesting presentation. I'm David from Georgia, Tbilisi. I have a question about calculation. Can I use your software for calculation, structural calculation, I mean?
Yeah,
Or it's for drawing and shop drawing only?
in our our programs, our softwares, the calculation is not internal, but we are connecting like softwares which are very common, like SAP 2000 and Midas. We have integration with these softwares so that everyone who does a calculation, they can use these programs by sending the models from Lego Precast, let's say. They can have a calculation values, calculation reports by these programs, because we know that all over the world, these two programs are taking over the calculation part, and we choose to go ahead with these two sophisticated softwares, let's say.
So as I get, for example, I can draw it. I can make drawing in Lego Precast, and can I export it in
Exactly.
calculation software?
Yeah,
Okay.
with exporting, you can take also the calculation reports as well.
And I can make it vice versa. I mean, make a calculation software and export it to your software as well, or it's only one way export?
Since the sections or all the things are defined in a different way in our program, there's no possibility to send all the sections or all the things from SAP 2000 or Midas. But whenever you are changing the reinforcement of a column, so let's say whenever you are changing the reinforcement ratio of a column, you can send it to Lego Precast again. But the sections or building types, let's say, you cannot send it because these are developed by us in a different way, let's say, containing lots of information inside, not just a rectangular beam, for example, or double slope beam, but it contains lots of information.
Okay, so as I get to be precise, I can make calculation in Midas or in sub 2000, and I can export only information, or when I export, I get the drawing as well, or should I draw again? Should I draw by myself according to the calculation, or it's implemented in calculation software?
Exporting from our system, Lego Precast, to sub 2000 or Midas, you can export all of them. But exporting from sub 2000 and Midas, you can export the results of the calculation values, like reinforcements and this kind of things.
Yes, I got it, but when I get the result from the Midas, for example, it automatically changes, for example, section of the rebars, or I just got the paper of the report.
We are also working on these issues. So in the future, I guess will be more functionality on that side as well. For now, as I've said, we can export all the model with reinforcement, and whenever you want to export from sub 2000 and Midas, you are just exporting the values of the calculation, let's say.
Okay, thank you for your answers.
Altra domanda è se abbiamo la integrazione con la AI.
Maurizio, forse
c'è il signor Mustafa che vuole fare una domanda, che ha la mano alzata.
Mr. Mustafa, please. Perché Daniele diceva che c'è un'altra domanda, ma ok.
Thank you for your presentation. You are not talking about your software about MEP coordination, but about the MEP coordination, especially Precast.
I cannot hear you well, Mr. Mustafa.
Because they are facing a lot of problems when we are using 2D for software.
With the ERP,
I'm asking about MEP coordination because we are facing a lot of issues. MEP coordination.
Yeah. With manual entry of the data.
So as you know, we are facing 2D software. The other problem is coordination between ground floor and first floor for some elements for all projects, especially for residential building.
I get it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the question for us is the question for us, or just to say you are having that?
No. I'm asking about MEP. MEP, mechanical, electrical, plumbing.
For the MEP part, we don't have much of integration, let's say. We have some downpipes or these kind of things, and not much, let's say, because the system is specialized on the precast part.
Yes, I'm talking about the precast. As you know, precast have a structure element, and the precast we have steel reinforcement, drawing, and designs. Also, we have MEP. Get my point?
Mm-hmm.
So, what about the part of
MEP or
the MEP? MEP, yeah.
You are saying MEP or AEC? Because MEP is based on
No. Yes, MEP, mechanical, electrical, plumbing.
Yeah, I'm saying that for the mechanical and electrical parts, we are not specialized. We are just specialized on the precast part, which is an AEC part, architectural engineering and construction, let's say.
Yes, Kutlu, sorry, I'm Maurizio.
Yeah.
In some part of the world, there is a residential, precast for residential that is included also mechanical, electrical, plumbing, so in the drawing. So at this point, our software is not integrated with this particular box of pipe for mechanical plumbing, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yes. Yeah.
You get my point. Yeah. You get it.
Yeah. At this point, because most of our jobs in the world is dedicated for the structural, so means double slope beam, column, etc. But we are looking for also for integrated for residential panel, for example, where is included also mechanical, electrical, plumbing. At this point, is not developed yet. Okay.
Yes, clear. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mauricio.
You're welcome.
Daniela, dicevi che c'è un'altra domanda?
Sì, nella chat hanno chiesto sulle integrazioni del sistema con intelligenza artificiale.
This AI thing, surely, as other companies, big companies, we are also having an idea to implement AI inside our systems, but yet we didn't integrate it like for the customers. But in the future, surely is one thing that we are already thinking. So if there is some other questions.
Allora ringraziamo tutti i partecipanti, vi invitiamo a seguirci su LinkedIn, sulle nostre attività, vi auguriamo buon lavoro e siamo disponibili per qualsiasi domanda, qualsiasi cosa.
So if there's no questions, we thank you everyone, and Mr. Mauricio thanks everyone for for your participation, and we wish to follow us on LinkedIn, because we are actively using LinkedIn. You can follow us from there, or also from website. So we wish you a good working, and if you don't have some questions, we can finish the meeting here. Thank you very much. See you later.
Thank you, Mato. See you.
Thank you.